I have a friend, she had a vibrator and it started going out on her. Well, she asked me to fix it, and so I ended up taking it apart, and at first I thought it had something to do with the cap, some mechanism wrong inside. Well, I ended up working on that and ended up getting it to working by putting a little piece of metal on there to attach the metal points right here with the piece that attaches to the battery casing. And it managed to work for a little while. It ended up messing up again, and so I started looking at it again. Well, as I was looking at it, I realized that in fact it was not the button piece on the top that was messed up. It was actually the piece inside. If you take the batteries out, you can see a little metal strip right there. You can see the shimmer off of it. Well, the one that they had in there was a few little wires in a plastic tube, and it was soldered on to each of the ends to attach the batteries correctly. Well, I found out that one of the ends came off. The solder broke and it no longer worked because of that reason. As you know, when you're using a vibrator, you have to jerk it back and forth for proper stimulation. Well, jerking it back and forth allowed the soldering that they originally had on there to separate from the solder, or from the points it was attached to. Well, I ended up going, and I always have spare things around to try to fix whatever I can. Well, if you guys recognize this, the little shimmer off of the metal, that's what I put in the battery housing. Well, if you don't realize, that's actually one of those things that you give kids, the little sparklers, and I ended up taking some of that and cutting it apart to the right size, and I took the old wire out like I've shown you before, and I put a piece in, and now after plenty of time playing around with it and finding out the initial problem that I thought it wasn't the issue, I've managed to get it fully functioning again. So now my friend can use her vibrator the way it's supposed to be used without having to jerry-rig it like I originally fixed it for her, even though it didn't last very long. Now, as you can see, it's supposed to have 3 settings. And if you can hear, there's 1. There's a higher setting, and that's the max setting. You can shake it all day long, stimulating wherever you need to, and it does not stop. The issue she had was it would stop and it would not turn back on for her. And it's actually not a bad vibrator, and she actually got it for free, but I'm still glad that I would have managed to fix her vibrator where she can actually use it the way she's wanting to without having any jerry-rigging. So all you need to fix a vibrator is a set of vice grips that you can use to cut a little length of wire that can be something like a sparkler, and a knife to pull out the old line that's in there if it comes loose. And just to check, I put the old batteries that she had in one of her vibrators in another one just to make sure that the batteries were still good. and they were. So I continued to look for more problems, and I am so glad that I found it, and as soon as she comes back, she's going to have a vibrator that she can use. Thank you.